It's new. Yeah, it's new. All right. So back in Jacksonville. This is going to be on VATSIM, I hope. Once again, free on the .org. Someday someone will create more realistic vehicles for this thing. So yeah, there's a new airport on the .org. It's $12. It's a Coral Creek, I think it's called. I think it's out on Cape Coral. I already looked at it. It's nice. You know, $12. It's very simple, but it's a private airport. We're going to fly in there. They don't have any instrument approaches, so we are going to be doing just a left base entry. And, you know, in before the hurricane, hopefully the hurricane won't affect this area too much. Just going to figure out a place to put my TBM to weather it out. So, yeah. So let's get connected to VATSIM. Let's see. Global traffic relaunched itself. Well, it's off. Let's see. Alright, I'll connect. And we won't hear them until I turn the avionics on. And what else? Rearrange some things here. Jackson. Oh, ground is on. Look at that. ATIS and ground. So let's oh, good. Chalks off, don't need those. Already got my fuel. Flying now. Follow the flight plan. True airspeed 3. True airspeed 323. Okay. Three hours of fuel on board. Departure time looks good. Flight level 280. We're going to be flying a departure. Alright, so just like the real world, it's good for 2 hours. Alright. Everything's off. Make sure my switches are all off. Yep. So, yep, it's Saturday morning. I like these quiet morning flights. Well, it's barely morning, it's almost noon.
Aural warning, okay.
TOS system test, okay.
All right. 1002. Starter ignition oil pressure and G. Close the door. Windy in here. .30 by 30. Cut off. This and this and actually hot out there. I was a little dubious putting your flight plan in before you talk to ATC. SRQ. And I'll have to see how this goes in. FA 54. Well, it knows it. Let's see what it does with it. It worked. Sometimes they don't like those. Sometimes you have to use a different ID. Hey, Bill. Didn't expect to see anybody on this morning. How are you? KJAX to Key West. Key West to KMSY, New Orleans. KMSY to Austin. Austin to Carr to KAS, Aspen. That's your, are you doing all that today? Archer. Oh, what room are we departing now? 14. Jaja. Alright, so there we go. Vector, dirty, Jetton, Belts, Jaja. Jetton 2. We're going to Jaja. Jetton, Belts, Jaja. Jetton, Belts, Jaja, SRQ. You're at Tahoe now, so you actually gone one further. Wow, you've had a busy week. I haven't. Well, not really. I took a couple of days off. I spent some more time with my son. Change belts. Everything looks good. Runway 14. So yeah, we're departing this way. We'll have to see what we get from approach. Yeah. Okay, so, and I'm not going to put anything in yet. And what did you fly, Bill? What airplane did you fly? Been flying 6 to 7 p.m. each night this week. Just looking at those legs. Jackstown to Key West. That's hour and a half. Good hour and a half. And then that Key West to KMSY. I don't know if you flew over the water. That could be a haul. That's 2.5 hours, I think. Maybe a little less if you go over the water. And then from there to Austin is another hour 20. Austin to, I don't know what car is. What is car? Oh, TBM. Okay. Yeah, I mean, in the TBM, those times I was giving you, I was just making some assumption, wasn't I? I wonder what would happen if I there's my latency. Something I remember my son telling me about a while back. Stream. Where is it? See, I'm running 2K. Right? Still running 2K. Bit rate. Buffer size is default. There's a place in here where I can set the latency where we can have these conversations better. Car, home of 310 pilot. Yeah, but hold on. Let me see where car is. Let me do something here. Let's see. So I'm going to go KJax to FA54. And now let's look at car. That doesn't, When I put in car, it shows me an airport near Chicago. So you went from Austin up to near Chicago and then across from Chicago over to Aspen. That's a haul. Chicago Aurora. Addis 125185. That was a haul to Aspen from there. What was that, about 3 hours?
Zulu. 1210 and 6. Visibility 10. Your clouds at 3,100. 2.24. Altimeter 3002. Visual approach runway 8 in use. Landing and departing runway 8 and runway 14. North is 2 airmen. Taxiway mic when closed. Use caution.
Hi,
Bird
Lucas.
activity near airport. Terminal ramp is uncontrolled. Push and start at your discretion. Call when ready for taxi. Advise on initial contact. You have information Foxtrot.
Foxtrot. Can't find my pen.
Jacksonville International Airport assist information Foxtrot 1556 Zulu. 1210 at 6. Visibility 10. Few clouds at 3,100. 25,000 scattered. Temperature 32. 2.24. Altimeter 3002. Visual approach runway 8 in use. Landing and departing runway 8 and runway 14. North is 2 airmen. Taxiway mic when closed. Use caution. Bird activity near airport. Terminal ramp is uncontrolled.
Have fun at the
Push
picnic,
and
Bill.
start at your discretion. Call when ready for taxi. Advise on initial contact. You have information Foxtrot. Jacksonville International Airport assist information Foxtrot 1556 Zulu. 1210 at 6. Visibility 10. Few clouds at 3,100. 25,000 scattered.
Alright.
Temperature 32.
What's ground?
2.24. Altimeter 3002. Visual approach runway 8 in use. Landing and departing runway 8 and runway 14. North is 2 airmen. Taxiway mic when closed.
And, you know, I think, Lucas, you're the only one here. You know, I'll say something about this wind. You know, wind in general. I noticed that they're using runway 8 and runway 14, but the wind is 210 at 6. It doesn't line up with either of those 2 runways. Sometimes there's a lag. It takes some time to switch runways. So, you know, they're thinking about it. Maybe the wind's variable, bouncing around. The wind that ATC reads you is moving all the time. It's not constantly 210 at 6. It's 210 at 3. It's 200 at 8. It's kind of a moving average of what the wind is, and what the wind the tower gives you is the actual at that particular moment wind, but it's moving all the time, which is why I say when it comes to moving air makes the airplane often feel like it's floating, especially if it's a little gusty, not overly gusty, but just a little gusty back and forth, not much, and you know, up and down, because you'll get you know, movements of air, you know, that are moving upwards and expanding, pushing into other movements of air, and it pushes the airplane up and up to the side and down and all over the place, like you're on a boat. And you know, that's why when you watch a real pilot, you know, as opposed to a sim, you'll see their hands moving all the time. They're making adjustments, especially when they're on final. They're making adjustments to make the airplane, to keep it in the general area where they think it's supposed to be. So it's just, you know, it's something that, you know, now that the graphics are where they need to be, and even, you know, in Xplane, you know, which is not to the par of FS 2020, but even in Xplane, the graphics are decent enough to where they could move on to working on that moving air, and it is doable. You know, I know how to do it, and it's not that hard. Well, it is. Well.
Attention all aircraft, Jacksonville ATIS is now information Foxtrot, and Jacksonville ground will be closing momentarily.
Oh, that sucks. Hi, Jacksonville ground, TBM 5372 Sierra. I've got Foxtrot, and I was just going to request my clearance real quick if you got time.
1 Sierra Bravo, yeah, we can hang on if you need a clearance.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 5372 Sierra. If you give me a moment, I'll fix that. Let's see, where is he picking up 131 Sierra Bravo? No. Let's see, let me disconnect, connect. Remember 5372 Sierra. Alright, so I've got that, and that's fixed, and there we go. And ground TBM900 Sierra. Fix the call sign, looking for a clearance to Coral Creek. Their XP wins are okay. They're better than P3D wins.
November 5372 Sierra, standby, number 1.
Yeah, but still, you know, it's doable. Let me just say it's doable, and I'll be real curious to see how they turn out in FS 2020. Hugely curious. You know, not just turbulence. You know, turbulence is just an extreme form of air movement. I mean, you do get those really super calm days, especially in the mornings. But then as the day warms up, the air starts moving around.
November 5372 Sierra. What's your destination? You have Foxtrot Alpha 54. Is that the correct code?
Correct. That's Coral Creek. That's a small airport in the southwest of Florida, a little bit south of Sarasota.
Roger that. It starts with an F, huh?
Yep, that's the way it's accepted. It also has an identifier of K54 Alpha, if that helps. I could change it to K54 Alpha if you like.
I could do that for you. I didn't see that pop up either, but I think it's probably going to be more recognizable to the center. I'm going to put in K54 Alpha.
Okay. Yeah, it's a new airport that was just released. They don't have any instrument approaches, so I'll just probably cancel soon after I get off of Sarasota.
Okay. 72 Sierra, you're cleared to the K54A via the Jet 2 departure. Maintain 3000, expect flight level 280, 10 minutes after departure. Jacksonville Center is 135.92 and squawk 2670.
Okay, TBM900 Sierra is cleared to the Coral Creek Airport, via the Jet 2 departure, maintain 3000, expect flight level 280, 10 minutes later, departure on 135.92, squawk 2670.
TBM72 Sierra, read back correct. Expect runway 8 and advise when you're ready to taxi.
I'll expect runway 8, 72 Sierra. Okay, so we're departing runway 8 instead, which is fine. 2670, transponders on. Let's see. So if I depart runway 8, do I change my proc? I don't think it matters. Yeah, it just changes the initial heading, that's all. But yeah, I wish people could, you know, I don't know, if you can find a real-time weather indicator somewhere, you'll see it moving all the time. It's just back and forth, and the wind's going up and down. And I honestly don't know what the answer to that is, you know, because, well, you know, in all honesty, controllers read the wind to an airplane when they clear them to land and when they clear them to take off. But by the time they get lined up on the runway, unless they're in position and hold, or by the time they get down to the runway, the wind's changed. All they're doing is kind of giving them a ballpark. So, you know, so if they were coming in on runway 8 and the wind was 250 at 13, the pilot might go, whoa, wait a second, you know. So, let's see, so let's go, you know, that's what that's all about. Starter, engine looks good. Throttle, engine parameters, aux, BP, fuel selector. Generator is checked, trims are set, oxygen supply is on. Display backup is checked, bleed, AC, pressure mode is normal. Standby instruments are good. 40 feet, good. Check. LFE is right. Altimeter setting is set. Pitch on. Trim. Inertial separator switch. Taxi lights and brakes. Never close the door. That's what that thing is for. So runway 8. So we're going to go out and go to the left. And TBM900 Sierra is ready for taxi. Taxi.
TBM900 Sierra. Jacksonville altimeter 3002. Squawk mode Charlie. Runway 8. Taxi via Golf 1. Hotel Alpha Lima.
TBM900 Sierra, Squawk Mode Charlie, taxi to runway 8 via Golf 1 Hotel Alpha Lima. Sends me to squawk altitude. Alright, so get an airport diagram up. I should have had this up already. And departure, Jet 2. Jet and expect above 10,000. Okay, so we're here. Golf 1 is here. Hotel Alpha Lima. Toughest part of the flight is to not run into one of those trucks. This is nice having VetSim on this early on a Saturday. They were on, everything was lit up last night, but I did a flight just before they got on, and then
Yeah, TBM900 Sierra, you have to hang a left on Bravo. You know you got it. Now right on Hotel, and then a left on Alpha. I forgot the Bravo part. It's just a little short turn in there, but it looks like you got it.
Yep, thanks. Flaps down. Check our flight controls. I cranked up my sliders. Looking at the airport, I'm getting pretty well hammered, so let's not look at the airport. I wanted to crank up my sliders because when I come into Coral Creek, I want to see what it really looks like, and I hope it's okay. I suspect it will be, but we'll see. It's always risky cranking up your sliders in Florida. This airplane is light on frames, very light, and so that's never the issue. It's Orbx, Florida, which is the problem. Any other place I can do anything I want with my sliders, pretty much, except run AA all the way to the top. I have to keep it down one notch. Yeah, so you guys watching the FS 2020 videos today? I'm so tired of watching those videos. Let's see, the frequency is 135.92. You know, I wonder, so you're sitting there, you're controlling ground at some airport, and you're handing it off to the tower controller, who normally would be sitting right next to you, or standing right next to you in the control tower. And then from there they hand it over to approach control, and that's a guy that's usually in a building at the base of the control tower.
TBM900 Sierra, contact Jacksonville Center 135.92. They have a good flight.
135.92. Thanks for sticking around for me.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Cleared to the Daytona Beach Airport via radar vectors, maintain 3000.
Roger, we're cleared to Daytona Beach Airport via radar vectors, maintain 3000, TBM 8 kilo. Take off call.
Alright, so let's get the parking brake on. It works. I've had it fail on me, just like Stevio did, except his failed different. It's a little bit different. Alright, so check. Flaps are set. De-ice is fine. Let's make sure I got the inertial separator on. Yep. Flight controls are checked. Trims are checked. Belts, strobe switches on. CAS display looks good. Fuel looks good. Flight instruments are set. Now it's set. And he said 3,000. So I'll mess that up. Check, check. LNV is right. 0. Takeoff distance. Rotation 85. Alright, return. I wish I had a pen. Damn, I wish I had a pen. Jacksonville Center, TBM53720, holding short of runway 8 for departure down to Coral Creek.
TBM 53720 Jacksonville Center on departure, fly heading 140, wind 210 at 6, runway 8, clear for takeoff.
After departure, turn right heading 140, clear for takeoff runway 8, TBM 720.
TBM 8 Golf Golf, do you have any instructions for us, or you want us to maintain present heading?
Lights,
TBM 8 Golf
icing,
Golf, you
flaps are
are...
set, transponders set,
can maintain present heading.
switches.
Present heading, 8 Golf Golf.
Got a couple of TBMs out here. In a world where $2 billion aircraft are the norm. Or more. But I was thinking about taking the DA-62 up later. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel.
That's runway 86, 84 to center maintain 9,000. Center maintain 9,000,
Flaps up. No damper on. Heading mode. TBM 720 through 2,300 for 3,000, 140.
720, we're correction 20, radar contact. Proceed direct dirty to join the jet to climb maintain level 280.
TBM 720, proceed direct dirty on the jet 2 and climb and maintain flight level 280. Okay, so direct dirty. So direct enter now and
Route 86, 84, we're going to speed to 210, not just to maintain 5,000. 210 down to 5,000.
yeah, let's start this up. That's runway 8684, roger, you're expecting the ILS runway 18 right. Roger, expect ILS 18 right. Number 108 Golf Golf, contact gauge on our approach on 125.72.
12572 for Daytona approach, Golf Golf, have a good day.
Southwest 15, land centers offline, radar services, terminating frequency change advised approved.
Frequency changed, approved, Southwest 15.
Center November 2 from Too bad I go ahead and step away for a few.
Partial separators off.
5 for Crusher 2531 Echo, that's fine, let me know when you're back.
Venus Spring 1080 knots. Also confirm that we're landing the runway 18 ground.
Okay, 1089, roger, expect ILS runway 18 right.
Roger, expect ILS 18 ground, thank you, sir, Springbok 1089.
So yeah, that's about what the world looks like from 7,000 feet up.
Jacksonville Center, yeah, Charlie, Foxtrot, Romeo, Echo Kilo, request IFR clearance to 20 feet.
Change that field.
Jacksonville Center, Endeavor 4650 with PLM flight hold 270. Endeavor 4650, Jacksonville Center, good afternoon, squawk 1011. 1011, Endeavor 4650.
Jack Center, good afternoon. American 1980, 7 miles from Icons, holding at 16,000.
American 1980, Jack Center, good afternoon. Climb maintain level 280.
Lucas, you doing any flying today?
American 1980.
Endeavor 4650, radar contact 70 miles northwest of Alma. Available 270, descend a pass discretion, maintain 1000. Advise when you have the weather at Valdosa.
Alright, our discussion on the 1000, we'll call you with the weather in Valdosta, Endeavor 4650.
The Bahamas Center just came online. Wouldn't mind seeing Miami Center come online, of course. Jetting 2 is a good way to head south. It's a good, you know, for turboprop airplane. It's a good way to get out of this airport going south. You're flying turboprops, the RNAV ones sometimes aren't for you. Really, they're for airliners.
Charlie Foxtrot, Romeo Echo Kilo is cleared to Kilo Delta Alpha Bravo via direct, maintain 9,000, departure frequency 135.92, squawk 10.
Bruins 86, 84, turn left heading 210, join the runway 18 right, localizing, descend and maintain 4,000.
Left heading 210, join the low, down 4,000.
Daytona Beach is on.
Brickyard 4430, descend via the Stalker's Royal arrival, Char landing south of Charlotte, altimeter 2999.
Are ya? Be waiting for a while.
3 arrive, Brickyard 4430.
The new codec has added so many more controllers, or at least it keeps them online longer. It does make it more realistic, a lot more. Makes it feel more real. Used to be during the
Jacksonville Center, Romeo Echo
day
Kilo,
in the U.S.
radio
there was
check.
a morgue around here.
Brewings 86, 84, descend and maintain 3,000.
So while you're waiting, you and I can chat. We can chat. What we doing?
Brewings 86, 84, 3 miles from Sharpie, maintain 3,000 to establish on localized, include ILS runway 18 right approach.
Maintain 3,000.
So yeah, Jacksonville was online. I was going to do a shorter flight in the DA62, and when I said Jacksonville was online, I just jumped on it and said, well, I'll do the longer flight then. This airport I'm flying into is, the DA62 would have been perfect. See, the single Norway controller on the past week. Wow, really? Europe, this time of day, is usually lit up like a Christmas tree.
Number 4658, Valdosta, altimeter 3004, advise when you have the weather and approach request.
I'm wondering what changes we'll have once FS 2020 comes on. So temperature. Just turn the icing on for a moment. Don't even want to think about it. You know, what changes we'll see because of FS 2020 that are sort of outside of the software itself. So I've been thinking about, will we see more women? There was a woman controller here in Jacksonville when I saw that they were online. I was surprised. I don't think I've ever seen a woman controller, even though in the real world
Number 4650, turn left heading 09 vectors for the approach and descent and maintain 6,000, expect the visual runway 17.
Alright, visual runway 17 and turn 090 heading in down 6.
It used to not be that way. It used to be they, well, we had more women in the military, but in the FAA it was hard to get in.
Brewings 8684, wind 10013, gust 18, runway 18 right, clear to land.
Runway 18 right, clear to land.
Check burner, JetBlue 566 with you, passing Kapasa, file 346 for file 360. JetBlue 566, Jacksonville Center, squawk 1021. 1021, JetBlue 566. Road 1529, Miami Center offline, vendor services, subject frequency change to advise approved.
me try to adjust something.
Runway
Is that better?
15.9, command center offline, later service.
Or is that better?
Frequency change to advisory. Okay, over to advisory. Sorry, over to
So
advisory.
let's go, let's say that this is A, and that's B. Which is better?
560 86, radar contact, 40 miles southwest
This,
of
which is
Orlando,
A.
01 for level 3501.
Or does it not change at all? I've got this weird control on my headset, and it's supposed to control how much game volume you have compared to how much voice volume you have. Input volume you
Follow
have.
Orlando wind 10013, gust 18.
November 2 Funky Winter is back.
1 Echo, welcome back.
Yeah, you know, okay, so let me see what I can do here. Input. ATC is too high, but input is good. Just the ATC is the problem. Yeah, because the other night I was having trouble hearing ATC, so I'm
Jackson
trying
Center,
to
good afternoon, radar contact, squawk 1061. 1061,
let me try to crank them down a little bit. And something else I can do is put the headset on and turn my volume. Well, I probably don't need my volume up. How is that? Is that, well, we'll see how loud they are in just a second.
Early day 684, walking Orlando, Texas, parking via Echo Bravo, cross 18 left on Echo.
Much better. Okay, good. So far, yeah. Sometimes you get, you know, I don't necessarily have to hear the other pilots, what they say, but I do have to hear what the controllers say. So we're to Jaja and then all the way down to direct shot to SRQ.
Transit, air transit 890, that's fine, proceed right across it.
Let's see, so if I go to my flight plan and
Number 4650, turn right heading 180, descend to maintain 3000.
No, good, red, right, wind here, number 4650.
I want to say 10 miles prior, I want to be at 2,000 feet.
Jack Center, American 1980. What runway can I expect for arrival into Jacksonville?
American 1980, you can expect the ILS runway 26 approach.
ILS 26 approach, thank you.
Really, I would think they'd want me to be at 3,000 right there, but I'll, you know, they should have some ATC at Sarasota. I swear, that would be nice. Hi Blake, how are you?
November 54901, back in altimeter 3000.
Altimeter. Oh!
November 2531 Echo, Valdosta, altimeter 3004.
This is here for thank you, Fiona.
So we're doing 308 ground speed, 5 knots, so 313, true, roughly.
Number 4650, turn right heading 270.
Right, 270, number 4650.
Can't understand why there's an old sailboat in the middle of Blue Island. The first people who discovered it didn't have one, so someone must have been there before then.
Iden, Foxtrot, Romeo, Echo Kilo.
You mean a real one or in the sim?
Charlie Foxtrot Romeo Echo Kilo, radar contact over Cross City. Proceed direct Daytona, climb maintain.
I don't know. I was reading in a book that
Direct
said
Daytona,
that the
climb
first
maintain
people that
9000.
came to the Americas, well, they may have been from Alaska, but also are from Russia, or the other way around. Let's be fair.
1980 descending the Looney on arrival, runway
But
26
Africans traveled across the Atlantic. Could you imagine? Tiny little boats.
Can you repeat again for American 1980, please?
Oh, real? Wow.
American 1980 North, descending the Looney 1 arrival, runway 26, transition Jacksonville, altimeter 3002.
Zambia, the Looney 1 arrival, runway 26
Well,
transition,
I was reading
altimeter
the evidence
3002,
about that.
American
I was
1980.
like, wow, really? Possible. And again, you know, there's no written record. It could have been that these people we call people Africans are actually originally from America. Possible, not likely. That's probably not.
Down to 6,000 knots, Springbok 1089.
Yes, Russia wanted so much territory. The reason why Peter, the first island, is named that. The big Peter of Russia discovered it. Okay. Is Peter the first?
At the airport, 10 o'clock,
What?
9 miles, report on site.
What number was Peter the Great?
Number 4650, clear visual approach runway 17. Or clear for visual runway 17, number 4650.
What is KCGC? There's an airport we could use. This is Cross City. This is Cofield. Okay, Peter the Great, yeah.
Charlie Foxtrot Romeo Kilo, Ocala, altimeter 3003.
Gainesville. I think I've got a Gainesville.
Sorry, say again for Charlie Foxtrot Romeo Kilo.
Charlie Foxtrot Romeo Kilo.
We are
altimeter 3003.
over Gainesville.
Sure, altimeter, thanks.
Probably about another 12 minutes until we descend.
November
Yep.
54901, no further agency available. Radar services terminate squawk and maintain VFR frequency changes active. Roger, will squawk, maintain VFR for unit count.
Well, you have to look at the island. It's your country, Christopher. You had to look it up in the history books. Betcha there's a couple of good history books on Norway somewhere.
4650 wind calm, runway 17 clear land. 17 clear land, after 460.
Shut my icing off. Well, Russia didn't give it up because it was too cold, because they like cold.
Rock 1089, turn right heading 240 vectors for the island, 40 right.
Route 240 for the vectors for the island, approach runway 18 right, Springbok 1089.
Those don't work. Don't know what they would do anyway. But that works. Well, if I turn them on, they work. What is that? Let's see. That's a switch. That's... I guess I could turn on the cabin lights for these folks. It'd be nice, huh? Oh. So what's that? Boy, when I get into TBM900, I'm going to be nitpicking the crap out of that airplane. Oh, those don't move. Oh, this thing up here. Does it work in this airplane? It doesn't work here. Panel emergency. It's got a horn test. It doesn't work. Do these things rotate? Does this rotate? You know, all those things. I think that's an air vent. Some Norwegian people just want to vote.
Rock 1089, turn right heading 280, descend and maintain 4,000.
Route 280 down to 1089.
Send a picture of the hut. Let's talk about Fulcrum Simulator controls for a minute. Yeah, we could talk about them, Bill. Let's talk about them. Let me see. Christopher, did you send that in Discord? Yeah. Like I said, I'm going to be real. I want to know, does the dimmer work? How's the apart from the flight model? I'm going to pick the thing apart. Visually, there is some.
November 53720, descend at pilot's discretion, maintain 1-3,000, 13,000, tab altitude 3001.
Descend to 13,000, 72 Sierra. Pilot's discretion. It's giving me 13,000. There's no rush. 8 minutes. I don't have to start down for 8 minutes. I'll start down at about 4 or 5. I sent an email to him last week, no reply as of yet. Well, I'll give you a little bit of news on it. I noticed that his Twitter feed has no updates on it. His website has no updates on it, but I went over to the AvSim site, and he did tell folks that he's going to be putting a pre-order button on there. He won't take money for it.
1089, turn left heading 210.
Deck 210 is from 1089.
The 900 does, well, you can see we're doing 311, so we're doing about 315, 316 true right now.
Jacksonville Center, November 842 X-ray with you, flight level 220.
Updates. I'm a little disillusioned with them. Well, here, let me go over to Avson. He said he's going to be putting a pre-order button. That was
November 842 X-ray, Jack Center, Squawk 1071.
Okay, so
1071, A42 X-ray.
Rock 1089, turn left heading 170, join the runway 18 right, low
let me see if I can find it.
4,000.
Deck 170, join the localizer and down to 4,000, Springbok 1089.
No, not that way. Let's go this way. Okay, sim update. This was on July 22nd.
Number 842 X-ray, radar contact 72 miles southwest of the Orlando VRF, level 220, welcome to Jacksonville.
We do not have a solid date, but it's very close. This is on the 22nd of July, so a little over a week ago. Things are getting very exciting.
Rock 1089, 3 miles from Honor, maintain 4,000.
No date, but it's very close. The new control is fantastic, but as it is a completely new design, we've had to submit it for CE and FCC certification. Once the various EMC and safety issues are complete, there will be a report issued and there will be ready to move. The testing is carried out by a CE and FCC accredited laboratory, and without us, we would be unable to sell it in the USA. CE is for Europe. So it's done by a lab that he hires to do the test. Okay. He's just waiting for certification.
Jackson Springbok 1089, police station on the Alice Bridge, runway 18 aircraft.
Rock 1089, wind 10013, gust 18, runway 18, right clear land.
Deadline runway 18 right, Springbook 1089.
Yeah, 600 might be rich for my blood, though I will say my desperation about a good yoke is getting pretty high. So we're gonna do a flight plan and VNav direct. And if you don't know, VNav direct starts your VNav descent right away. So if you notice, we're now, oops, we're not descending because the bonehead controller didn't put down 13,000 feet. Or the pilot, bonehead pilot. Now we'll do a VNav descent, VNav direct. We're still, we'll do a slow descent.
Denver 4650, welcome to Valdosta, taxi parking via Alpha, and you have
Come on.
Let's see, 4650.
I can make this thing do its thing. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I checked their website a little while ago, about an hour and a half ago, and there's no pre-order that I could see there. And there's nothing in this post, which, by the way, I'll post here.
Jackson Center, good afternoon. That's 3359 heavy 390.
Yeah, but that says something about the CH yoke, right? I mean, it's lasted without any problems for 20 years with basically rubber bands and, you know, potentiometers. I've got the same one. And I find it very tedious in Xplane.
1027 3359 heavy.
Jacksonville, good afternoon. Southwest 1044 is 5770.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it would take long to certify that.
With information data requesting Alpha clearance to Phoenix.
Yeah, that's the only update there. I should bookmark this.
Southwest 1022, Jacksonville Center, good afternoon. Clear to Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, Orlando 4 departure, radar vectors Camden. As filed, maintain 5,000 departure frequency 132.925, squawk 1017.
Roger, cleared Phoenix Sky Harbor by the Orlando 4 departure, expecting vectors to Camden, and the climb maintain 5,000 feet. Departure is going to be with you.
Okay, all I gotta do is figure out where you put it.
Southwest 1044, read back correct.
Oh, wow.
So 3359, radar contact 8 miles southwest of Alma, New York, by the local 900, welcome to
Yeah, I could easily imagine why that boat there would be, oh, and there's the flag.
November 53720, Miami's offline, radar service system, your frequency change to advise for the afternoon.
72 Sierra, roger. Thanks for your help today. 122.8. Alright, so where did he hand me off? Donde estamos? We are, his airspace boundary is actually right there between those two airports, which is bizarre. What a weird place to put a airspace boundary. Oh, look at those guys. Christopher, what year was that in? if you guys are on my Discord, you can go to the off-topic subject and see what Christopher's talking about. Norway. Has some really far away islands. Far away. Far off their mainland. If you go, oh, well, those pictures that you sent me. Heck, I don't know which one's which. Oh, I see. So those are Peter Island up there. I don't know what year were all those taken. I don't know. Where's our bottom of descent? There's the airport right there. I guess our bottom of descent is right there. Yeah, that works out really good. Yeah, it is. It is expensive. Well, which price are you looking at? Are you looking at in pounds, or are you looking at US dollars? Because in US dollars, it's around 400. Because we don't pay value-added tax. And if you compare it to, what's the other one? The new one that came out, everybody's talking about, I think it's far better in lots of ways. I really hope they come out with a version 2 of that particular yoke. The distance of travel of that yoke is not very good. And what is it? The honeycomb. That one's 250. Got a very short forward and back. I mean, it's got good rotation, but very short forward and back. Other than that, it looks like a great deal. But the other thing is that the fulcrum has different sensors, much better sensors. Brazil, the cheapest good yoke costs 1,000 reals. I mean, the CH yoke probably, I don't know what the exchange rate is, but the CH yoke, I've had this thing for as long as Ken's or Bill's had his, and it's been good. Not great, but certainly been good. What's amazed me about yokes, I have to say this, what's amazed me about yokes is not so much the yokes, but the fact that they haven't improved on the buttons that the CH yoke has. In most cases, it's worse. Well, you wrote down, okay, there you go. Peter Island, 1929, wow. That's the year before my dad was born. 1927. Something. And I have to think that that's summertime up there. gave me the altimeter, but I've forgotten it. I think he said 3000. Okay, so we can't get that. So let's go down and see what it is in Sarasota. $2,997. Is it hot? It's, when I left Jacksonville, it was up in the 30s, like 31, and that was at noon. And where we're going, the temperature is 32. It's around 90, I guess. Pretty normal this time of year. So we're right over Tampa City right now. This little peninsula. This area here. And that's MacDill, which is down on the south side. I need to fly into this little airport here. Got one off the .org. It's nice. Very unusual little airport there by the park. The temperature's -1. Icing's on. And let's get the inertial separator on too, just in case. Oh, you go into, did you get a controller? Oh, you see me, I see. Yeah, you're looking at Florida. Yeah, you may have to fly someplace else, Christopher, if you're having trouble getting a controller there. I keep saying I'm going to fly in England. I'm certainly not going to start out on that sim in England. But one of these days I've got to try out that Orbx scenery I bought. Oh, let's go VS down. Oh, it's not going to let me do that until I'm going to go down to 6. Yeah, when I get FS 2020, I'll have to do some flights up in Norway, right? Go anywhere. Somebody flew Luna from Luna's World on YouTube. He flew into North Korea. You found a mesh. Okay. That's got to be difficult. Even, finding stuff like that. That's, one thing about vStates. I'll say this about vStates is Vertical Sim got all that stuff, all those bitmaps and the mesh and all that stuff. He got it all for, from the government. So it's not Microsoft, it's not Google. You don't have to worry about it being taken away. It's all available and perfectly legit. So you don't have to be hammering the Bing server. And I gave him a donation for all his work. That was a lot of work. This scenery looks really good with the sliders full. It's just really hard. frame rate's getting hit pretty hard at the moment. You know, I knew there might be some trouble if I crank my slider that high. But what do you do? I get out of this area here, I'll descend down from 6,000 down to 2. Yeah, aren't they? What's the passenger seeing? How cool is that? Love that view. Yeah, slider's full right in Orbx, Florida is just really asking a lot. It's just you're really asking too much. We'll see what it's like when I get down to like 2 or 3. It may get better. Certainly down closer to the airport, because the more houses, the worse it is. And there's a lot of houses. Okay, we can go on down. Okay, we've already captured the altitude, but we'll... Yes. Alright, so the plan... Let's see, there is a fix I could dial in if I want. Well, that's a little extreme. I don't need to go that far out. One thing, you know, I found this, you know, this airport doesn't have any instrument approaches. So, well, I'll probably go in heading mode here in a second anyway, so it doesn't matter. But, let's see, I'm landing 5. What's the wind? And even though it doesn't have the instrument approaches, it does offer transitions into the airport, which is pretty cool. The wind is 090 to 11, gust 19. Well, this will be interesting. All right. Let's pull this back. Inertial separators on. Sync up the heading. So from this line, from this fix here, this line to the airport is about 10 miles. Right there, from that little hash mark to this line is 10 miles. Here to that line is 10 miles. Only works north and south. These here are shorter. But, you know, so that'll give me an idea. In that amount of time, I've got to lose 500 feet to get down to pattern altitude, and I'll probably set up on a downwind. Yep, my frame rate has gone up. Much better shape now. But the trees are bigger. When you move that slider up, it makes the trees bigger. So, just makes everything look better. So we're 2,000 feet, and so I'm going to, you know, I'll turn left here. We'll go heading mode, and let's go left this way, and we'll enter onto the 45. That's Punta Gorda right there. It's a decent airport on the .org for that one. It's going to include orthos. Okay. Let's see. Let's get our speed down. This is called, I don't know what the name of this airport is. It's Coral Creek, I guess it is. This is brand new airport, just got it off the .org today. It cost $12. It's a pretty simple airport, but nice looking. So, swing the heading around. I'm going to go to CDI mode and course and 050. That'll point me towards the runway. And that gives me an idea what headings to use. What about there? Holy cow, you can hear that bird? That bird is upstairs. That is a sun conure. It's my son's. Loud sucker. You want her? Alright. Let's see, so let's get the lights on. Heat's on, inertial separator's on. We're all set to go. And let's take over. I don't see it yet. I think maybe right there. Maybe. Yeah, that's probably it.
Vertical track.
You really, yeah. I could have put the ILS on to give me a better sense for direction here, but I've got the local or the pointer pointing in the right direction. Yep, that's my altitude right there. Flaps 1. Get some stutters here. I hate stutters when I'm trying to land. So the wind's out of the east, yeah, it's going to be blowing me away from the airport. Get the gear down. Where is it? Oh, where are you going? Flight director off. There it is. Man, I'm lot of trim in. Gears 3 green. Final notch of flaps. And I don't remember how to shut off that stupid terrain. Hopefully I won't get that. Speed's coming down.
Airspeed.
Yeah, that was a crappy landing. Oh my god, after all that. And everything was beautiful. My crosswind technique sucked. I'm not going to do it again. That was terrible. I feel bad. I can't wait to get a new yoke. Making all the excuses in the world for that yoke, but I really can't wait. Flaps up, heat off, landing line off. So this is, yeah, 12 bucks. God, that was terrible. I've done better crosswind landings at a Cessna 152. I've done worse too, I have to say. I've done one worse, at least. So yeah, not too bad for 12 bucks. I had the wind before I landed. I didn't look at the windsock. I hardly ever do. I never see it, to be honest. Did they have a windsock out there? Park and brake on, taxi light off. But yeah. $12, I'll just, I don't know, I'll pick another airplane to do crosswind landing practice. I clearly need a little bit of work there. But TBM is just too hard to set that up on. Maybe the DA62, that's fun. Okay, testing. Yeah, 12 bucks. Just came out. So, if you're looking for a nice, small private airstrip, it's got decent ortho underneath it. The only thing I'll say is it looks like the runway may be made out of rubber. I'm joking. Pretty high resolution trees. Not bad for palm trees. Not horrible. Decent plants. It's got a nice, you know, ambiance to it. Looks like they've freshly painted this. Little oil spot there or something. But you can see the stark difference between his ortho and that. Pretty big difference. Take a look at it at night. This would be a good airport to do some practice VFR. God, that was terrible landing. Yeah. It was a good flight, terrible landing. Some days when I was a student, I felt like I was better off not trying to put it in any opposite rudder and just putting the mains down and letting the airplane straighten itself out. Largely, it does that. Largely, you can get by with that. But I'm in a sim. I want to practice that. I'll keep screwing it up until I get it right. It's equally hard in the sim, I'll say that. That's how I used to practice before I went to the airport if I knew there was going to be a crosswind. It is different, I'll say, the crosswind landing in the real world, but then it's hard to compare because it was like those are the days before FSX came out. I think it was FS9 or something. It was different, but it still got you thinking about it. You know, if the wind's coming from the, you know, the right, like it was there, you put in, you know, right before you touch down, you put in left rudder and right aileron, and you hold it. So yeah, that looks pretty decent. And yes, there is a windsock, and yes, it is blowing the right direction. Oops. Sorry. Yep. So yeah. So is there a rotating beacon? It does have a lighted runway. It should have a rotating beacon. Oh, it's private though. Who knows what it's got? Anyway, let's fix the lights. And yeah, if you look at the ramp, it looks just like this. I looked at some photos of this airport before I bought it, and it's just like this: concrete, then pavement, concrete, then pavement, concrete, then asphalt, like that. And it's a very clean airport too. So yeah, it's about that clean. They did a decent job. I think they could have done a better job on the lights. That's the only thing. It's good enough. Certainly worth $12. I haven't yet, Lucas. I took those 2 days off and flew yesterday. I might load it up today. Might go to Miami and load up my existing lights and then switch it out and just do try to do two screenshots. So I might do that today. Maybe I'll post them on the Discord. Did you learn anything more about lighting around those shopping centers? Is there any way to do that? I know that they got different lights at different purposes, but in those files it isn't always clear what those lights do. I like the sand effect here too. Looks very realistic. This airport is on the list of airports to become seaports very soon if the ocean keeps rising. It's at 0 feet. Yeah. Yeah, I will. Well, this guy should do St. Pete. Yeah, the other thing, in the real world, these trees here would block the crosswind. So that's going to be difficult for us ever to see in a sim where there's a structure over here that blocks a crosswind. Problem is that you have to reload the sim every time to check the lights. Well, actually, do you? Because there's this little known thing that I ran across when I was testing water textures. Show texture browser. Okay. How do you do this? No, there is some way. Yeah, it's here. It's here. Toggled. Control deflections. Texture browser. It must be this. Of course, it may have changed since Vulkan came out. But what does that do? Oh, it probably makes them bigger. Yeah. Render targets. Pager info. Gain map. Oh, reload. So if you know what the texture is, you can reload just that texture. So you go here and you search for it, I guess, by name. And then you find it, and then you reload the texture, you know, however many times you need. So I don't know what textures we're looking at here, but you'll know because you'll be the one creating them. Well, will you? Yeah, you're changing a lights.txt file. Will it? You're not changing the texture. You're changing the. I wonder if that would work. The only thing I could suggest is go someplace far away from any decent scenery, like Tucson, Arizona, or something. Or you probably have some down there in South America, or on an island. Go to the Bahamas, and because it doesn't have to load very much. It only takes a moment to load. It needs to be big enough where it'll have those lights. But yeah, if you're changing a texture, let's see if I go LIGHT. So there's yeah, 1,000 lights close. So I don't know if you're mucking with those or not. You just have a lights.txt if I recall. So I think I'm going to sign off. I might load up the DA62 and do some practice crosswind landings here. Otherwise, it was a decent flight. I could load the PC-12 too. I want to fly the DA62. So I got to shut this thing down. It's sitting down here burning gas. Okay, so I never set the timer. Is that... Yeah, that's good. So it's been 2 minutes. So let's see. So inertial separators on. Shut the icing off. Transponder. Standby. Trims. Set. AC. Leads. We can shut the strobes off. Cabin lights off. That's off. Well, not that off yet. This. And then we can go step, and go, okay, inertial separator off, shut that off, nav lights off, this off, that's already off, and off. I gotta get a better workflow for this. Come on, let's go. There. Yeah, it's just, yeah, you're changing parameters that I don't understand in that lights file. And like I said, if I go over there, I don't remember where it is. Let's see if, well, I've got yours somewhere. Hold on. I don't remember where you posted it here. No, not there. General. Nope. No. Oh no. No, cancel that. And go to Pilots Lounge. There it is. There it is. Yeah, so it's got Billboards. Town lights, there we go. Town lights tiny. Then town lights omni. I don't know if you know what all these things are. Building uplight, floods, street lights, ambient street lights, lantern, area light, highway, ramp. And then there's sodium flood. Building something, there are a lot of types on for each type of building. I think I saw those. I'm just talking to somebody. Okay. Yeah, I don't know which ones. You know, you better than me, Lucas. That's all I got to say. You better than me. So it looks like I can reuse the airplane. That's the important thing, right? Let's see how the landing gear did. I mean, it wasn't a hard landing. It was just really screwed up with a bounce. Nothing to be proud of at all. Well, I can check the electrics, but that's not the issue. We're all good. I'm going to do some crosswind landing practice, though. Good day to do it. Let's see, so... I guess I should close the door. You can hear the engine actually cooling down. They've actually got a sound for that if you listen for it. So, yep. Alright, I'm going to call this one. At least for now. I may get back on later and do I might do a DA62 flight. I don't know if I want to... if people want to watch somebody trying their best to do a decent crosswind landing, I could... You know, that's what I'm going to do now anyway. I guess people could watch if they want, but I'm going to cheat if I can. If I can cheat. Where is the DA62? There it is. Yeah, maybe we can. Well, what do you want to fly next time? Wow, that's good to hear, Christopher. That's really good to hear. Meshes amaze me. They frighten and amaze me a little bit. Anybody that can actually um, you know, mess with those things. Red. I'm not a big red fan. Blech. What's Blue Island? That's all right. And if I start with engines running, I'll probably do this offline. I'll probably do it offline. Because I need to focus on what I'm doing rather than talking. FA54. Customize. And we'll do runway 5. Maybe Daytona Beach. What, from here to Daytona? Somebody was asking me about Daytona. Maybe that was you. We could do, let's see. So let me confirm that real quick. Then let me, payload weight. That's good. Done. And so what airplane? What airplane are you thinking? Because I'll be back on later. What airplanes you have? What airplanes you have? Yeah, I mean we could depart Daytona. I mean, there's a hurricane coming. We got to, get out of there and head west, I guess, or at least head northwest. So I would say fly up to Atlanta if we want, or I wouldn't fly to Savannah, I don't think. Maybe. It just depends on where that thing goes. Of course, we could also shut off the weather. But, yeah. So, I mean, my preferences would be, I probably won't fly the Cheyenne because it doesn't have weather radar. Unfortunately. Sucks. And, could be talked into the 350, even though that would be painful. Not going to fly the Turbo Commander. And if I'm going to fly the E1000, I just as well fly the TBM. And then there's the Zebo. And if we're flying from Daytona up to Atlanta, I would say probably the Zebo or, well, any of these three. I don't have any tolless. I've got the A320, the flight factor. Well, I haven't flown it in over a year. But the Zebo is probably fairly close to that. I may never fly this. I only flew it twice. It was still in beta, and the VNav was a mess. And I just said, I'm not dealing with this, and I put it away. Haven't flown it since. I never got back to it. There's always something else to fly. So I wish I'd have gotten the A319, the tolless. So yeah, wish I had. But now I'll be flying the A320 Neo. It's free. Well, it's not free. I paid for it. But it's, that's that or the 787. I'm going to, I have a lot of PMDG airplanes. I bought them over the years, spread out over time. And some of which I've flown more than others. So, but now I'm going to be a little bit more careful because, quite honestly, it looks like GA is finally getting where it needs to be. So, if it is, then I'll be sticking mostly with GA and the occasional 777 flight just to sort of scratch that itch. But yeah, the Citation 2 is decent, but it does visually it doesn't come close to the new ones from FS 2020. And you have to use the GTN 750 if you're going to use any decent avionics with it at all. And that's okay. It's a good airplane. Like I said, I give it in the 8s. But the ones from FS 2020 look like they could actually get in the 9s. So anyway, I'm going to call it. I'm going to do some practice crosswind landings. I might come back on, do some more after I've straightened out whatever mess I've got going on there. And I will see you guys later on today. All right? Have a good one. Get out there and fly.